Welcome everyone to our presentation on Cracking the Code, a revolutionary method developed by Gurukul Universal to help beginners learn and understand complex coding concepts. Through our presentation, we will be providing guidance on how to simplify and understand these concepts so that everyone can get the most out of their coding experience. Let's get started. We are here to discuss a very important topic: simplifying complex concepts related to coding. Coding can be difficult, particularly for those starting out, so we need to break the concepts down into more digestible pieces that are easier to understand. By doing this, we can lay the foundation that is necessary for someone to become a successful coder. Let's get started. Beginners need to establish a solid coding foundation to ensure further progress is stable and secure. Without a sound foundational knowledge, learners may struggle to understand more complex ideas. Establishing a strong base is thus essential for long-term success in coding. Complex concepts in coding can be daunting for beginners, but there are methods to make them easier to comprehend. Breaking the concepts down into smaller and more understandable parts is one way, and another is to use analogies to illustrate the concepts more clearly. For example, comparing coding to a recipe shows that taking the instruction step by step is essential for a successful outcome. By breaking complex coding concepts into manageable pieces, they become much easier to understand. When explaining complex coding concepts, it is important to consider the audience. Different approaches may be more effective depending on the individual's level of expertise. The next slide will cover the potential of artificial intelligence and its implications for the legal profession. Coding can seem overwhelming at first, with its multitude of unfamiliar concepts and jargon. However, don't be disheartened. There are various strategies you can employ to break down complex coding concepts into simple and comprehensible elements. This approach can make coding less daunting and more accessible to both newcomers and experienced coders. Providing visual representations such as diagrams, charts, and other illustrations can be a powerful tool to bridge the gap between abstract concepts and tangible ideas. Using visual aids to simplify complex coding concepts is an effective way to get the point across and can help beginners gain a deeper understanding of coding processes. Interactive learning is an effective method for teaching coding to beginners due to the ability for students to apply their knowledge immediately and receive feedback on areas that require improvement. Hands-on activities help students to deepen their understanding of coding concepts, and have been shown to be of great benefit during the learning process. Interactive learning is an invaluable tool for those just starting out in coding. Most effectively, learning coding requires practical exercises. Starting from scratch with simple programs will create a solid foundation of coding knowledge. This way, those starting out will become accustomed to the basics of coding and how different parts of a program interconnect. For example, a person could start by coding a program to print their name or solve a basic math equation. These exercises will help them gain familiarity with coding and how it functions. When teaching coding concepts to beginners, it is essential to stay away from jargon as it can be too much for those who are starting out. To create a more welcoming and inclusive learning environment, jargon should be avoided. Now, let's consider another significant concept. It is important to note that breaking down complex coding concepts into simpler, easy-to-understand segments is essential to help beginners build a strong coding foundation. Not only will this provide them with the confidence they need to succeed, but it will also lessen the feeling of being overwhelmed by the complexity.